Ah, that new timer was cute. Everybody think that was cute? Hi, it's Brad Tassell. Welcome to 1000 Marriage Questions, the show where we try to get Donna Wilburn not to complain about what I'm doing. So she said I do way too long in the beginning. Well, I apologize. She said, "What is it? Your show?" And I think it is. So welcome to the show. We have a great show. It's going to be a quick one today. We have a special guest, Joe Bronzi, who we found out today that he looks really thin, but he's actually really heavy. So that's very interesting too. Now, but first, I do have to say this as a quick commercial right off the bat is everybody. I don't know if y'all know that I do this. I'm going to turn off that stupid live with Brad Tassell thing is just in the way. So I don't know if y'all do this, but I've been teaching for over 15 years online, and there's a new place called outschool.com. If you have an at-home learner of any kind and you need a class or a program, go to outschool.com. If you want my programs, I do a great one on being the president, and these are all based in poetry. I do a class on writing, inside the writing process, and Halloween spooky programs right now. So please go to outschool.com and search Brad Tassell if you want a class for your learner. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, so Donna says don't talk, so let's just play the opening. 1000 Questions is an entertaining discussion of marriage. We aren't telling you to do or feel or change anything about your life. Really, just listen and enjoy. And if you need real help, find a professional for your specific problem. We don't know you. How could we speak to your deal? Okay, have fun. All right. Welcome, Joe and Donna. So, by the way, Donna, in the opening, I was going to pose this question today because what we're going to do later is we're going to look at the worst ways to propose. Okay. So I was going to ask you guys to relive real quickly how you proposed to your spouse. And then a little later, we're going to go through some of the worst ones and why they're bad. So let's start. Donna, you go first. How did your proposal happen?
All right. So, well, we were engaged, and I don't even remember how that happened. But the actual let's actually get married now proposal was I was about 7.5, 8 months pregnant. I was going to the bathroom, and he goes, "Hey, you want to get married?" And I was like, "Sure, let me take a shower." And then we went downtown.
Wow. So very romantic. Just the most romantic.
I had to go to the toilet first and then take a shower, and then we went.
Well, at least you didn't kneel down as you were sitting on the toilet and put it on your finger as you're on the toilet.
That would be awkward.
Wow, Joe, can you beat that?
Wait a minute. There's no recollection of how you got engaged originally?
No, I know I had a ring. I don't know I don't know. I can't tell you. So obviously it wasn't that memorable.
Or were you drunk, or what was going on?
No, I don't know. Maybe it was a note.
So you don't remember your proposal at all?
I don't think it was like an official proposal. I had a ring. I knew the plan was to get married. Don't quite know how that came about.
But you were already pregnant.
So that might have been a motivator, but I had the ring before that.
Okay. Well, so boy, Joe, you bet you can't beat that.
We were at a family resort. I've worked out a lot, and it was kind of a getaway for us when we didn't have any money. But to throw her off the scent, which didn't work, I told her, we're going away this weekend, but I got to do this gig Friday night first. We'll go by the resort, then we'll go. It's going to be a special weekend. She knew what was coming. So I went down to the stage, telling her it was a tech rehearsal, got on stage, asked her if she could hear that echo in the audience on the sound. And I had a sound guy right near the stage, and he said, "I hear it. Do you hear it?" She said, "No." And he said, "Go up on stage, see if you can hear it." When she got on stage, the lights all changed, special for her. The whole staff of the resort was up in the balcony. And I got down on one knee and I said, "I'm proposing on stage because before you, it was the only place I felt at home. Now you're my home. And everywhere I go, you know, you've opened up the world to me. Will you marry me?" That was the proposal. And we got married at the same resort.
Aw, well, that is so sweet. So much better than yours, Donna. So
I'm
much better.
terrified to find out. She would say, I don't remember.
No, she would not say, I don't remember. I think she would say, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Donna's husband right now going, I spent $3,000 putting that together. I can't believe it.
I'm literally going to ask him after this to like, did I have a proposal or was it just an ongoing discussion? Like, I don't know.
Now, one thing about those big setup ones is they can go wrong, which maybe we'll look at this now. So mine real quick is I set up a scavenger hunt in my wife's apartment at the time where she would come in and find, and it was December 27th of 1992. And she came in and she found a note in the apartment. And that note said some sort of clue as to where the next note was. And then there were 4 or 5 or 6 notes that led to different things and different puzzles she had to do. One's in the freezer. And there's still a bone of contention because she couldn't figure out the last one. So I tell everyone out there, tell me now, you guys tell me, do you get this? Here's where the ring was. The last clue was you get the ring and you still get to keep your teeth. Where was the ring? You get to keep your teeth. You still get the ring. We're in someone's home.
And a cup in the bathroom.
We're not 90. What? This is 30 years ago. This wasn't last week. We were in our 20s.
Was it in ice cream in the freezer?
Why would you lose your teeth in ice cream? What? What do you do when you lose your teeth?
Go to like put
under a pillow.
Under the pillow. You put them under the pillow. Oh God, I still
You're
can't
not
believe
6 either. So my 90-year-old answer was just as valid as your 6-year-old.
It was not valid in any way. So anyway, quick story on this though. Right before she came back, I decided to take a shower and I was shaving and I cut such a big hole in my chin. It bled the entire night. I had to hold a compress on my chin.
She didn't.
It did not stop the 4 hours bleeding.
You didn't give the ring back to you then?
She did not give the ring back. And one of the things that you talked about, so might as well do the list. By the way, the first question from the bucket is going to be, does saying I love you every day make it lose its meaning? So think about that, everybody out there. We'll come to that after we talk about this, because Joe, what could have happened with your wife, the confusion could have screwed up. Like there was one, here's this one. This guy, he put the ring in the birthday present and it was only a birthday present. And because it was a diamond, if you get a woman, here's a tip. If you get a woman a diamond ring, she thinks you want to get married. I don't care what it's for, Christmas, birthday, Hanukkah.
He got it and it wasn't for an engagement.
No. And she immediately said, I will. And it didn't last.
Oh, goodness.
And he just, wow.
Why would he get her a diamond ring if it wasn't for that? That is so ridiculous.
That is what I'm saying. It's so ridiculous.
That's like giving a teenager a box with car keys in it and saying, I just like the key for you.
No, this is just for you to borrow every once in a while. No, this is my new car. You can go for a ride with me in it, if that's okay. The other one is, I'm always amazed with people who do these adventures like the guy who went to Disney. And that's probably okay if you want to go. I mean, going to an amusement park is okay. But when you knock it out at the top of Splash Mountain and you turn and you say, let's get married, then first of all, you're going to drop the ring in the water and you're not going to have it anymore.
Did he drop it?
He dropped the ring. Dropped the ring in the water, lost the ring.
No, gosh.
You know, I will tell you right before when Lindsay was saying, I want to get married, let's go. We've been together so many years. And I agreed. Right then we were in Vegas at Brad Garrett's room and he and his fiance told the story of him actually having Mark Cohn, who sings the song, True Companion, which is their song, into his hotel room to play it for her while he proposed. And I'm like, thanks, Brad. Thanks for setting the bar there. Conan to play on a piano while you proposed. What am I going to do? My budget, I can't even afford Brad Tassell
That's true. To sing and do a thing. Hey, you, babe, you're gonna take the ring. Yow.
The recorder in the room.
So another one that I suggest people never do, that is to scare them by saying, we need to talk about our relationship, and then let them stew for 5 or 6 hours before you meet. and when you say, oh, I've really been thinking about where are we going to go in this relationship? What is going on? And then they're like, well, we're going to break up. What's going to happen? Oh yeah, let's get married. I just think you're kind of a douche if you do that.
They do that on The Bachelor and Bachelorette every single time. Every single time. They do that lead on. The person's there. I really love you. I really care so much. I just want to let you know that. And they go on, and it's either let's get married or time to say bye. But they do that whole lead on every single time to the last person. They don't go like, thanks for coming, it's not working. They do this big like, oh, I feel so bad. That's like the worst thing to do to somebody.
That show, I'm very interested in your professional opinion, Donna, because when I watch it as a layman with no certifications whatsoever, I think it is positively toxic to single people looking for a relationship to set an unrealistic bar, to move a relationship along without pure motivations, and then to set it up for that kind of finale, I think is an awful example for people who don't.
Not how it's supposed to go.
No.
It is not a realistic relationship process at all, and it's super manipulated. They're actually manipulating the people to be more motivated to love the person. There's so many manipulation strategies in that show that over here in this field, I'm like, of course they're going to make them do that. Of course they're going to say that. Of course they're going to like do this kind of date. Of course they're like making them high on drugs while they're putting them together. Yeah, of course they're going to be, oh my God, you're just so amazing. And then reality hits and withdrawals happens and they're like, ugh.
And they're also in love. They're in love immediately. They're in love, and they're in love with everybody endlessly again. And that just throwing around the word love so much just makes me want to choke people, is what it does, especially when you've got 13 of them versus one. One way people should never, women look at this as a problem. If your new husband that you're going to marry has no tact. This is from a lady who said her dad proposed to her mom by saying, how much weight do you think you can lose by September? Why? I was thinking we could have a wedding.
How did that marriage happen?
What?
How did that marriage happen? That's a big red flag right there for that woman. And she married him and had kids. Oh, I know.
No. Bad move.
I know. Let's see. I think there's one more.
Dude, already criticizing her like that before they're even married. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better after. It's not magic.
Okay. How do you feel about this last one? And that is where, because I don't know if I'm for it or against it, because I guess it could be good, where someone thinks they're in trouble and then there's a wedding, a proposal. Like, you have friends in the police department that pull your fiance, your girlfriend over and tell her stuff like, you're in big trouble, you're going to give you a ticket, and then they hand them a thing that says you got to marry this guy or something like that.
I think that's psychological abuse. Thank you very much.
I don't think it has any ties to romance. It's a prank. You want to prank somebody to propose them? You must have a special kind of relationship with them.
And it's not just a prank of like, haha, prank. You're creating terror in that.
That's right.
And think it's funny.
Well, which means you're going to do this for the rest of that person's life.
Great.
It's like I always say, I've never had friends. And one of the reasons, Joe is my friend, but I've never had friends because I can't stand the arm punching. I can't stand the pranks. I can't stand doing mean things in the name of friendship in any possible way.
That's not called guy bonding?
Not in my house.
Not a guy I want to hang out with. No. No. I don't know about Brad, but I was picked on a lot as a kid. I was very different than my peers. So I never gravitated towards that grab ass, punch the arm. I can be meaner than you. I can scare you more. Like, no. no thanks, not me. You know, and it's same with Lindsay and I. We don't we don't have any of that kind of dynamic. Scare each other. You know, we laugh.
Do you do sports? Did either of you actually play on a team sport?
Oh yeah, I did, and I didn't like that part of it.
You have to do that.
What?
It's not part of like you have to act like that.
You know what? There's pressure to act like that, so I never felt like I fit in. I was pretty good at baseball. I was pretty good at soccer once I lost some weight, but I just that's what drove me off the team eventually.
Dang.
Well, what drove me off the team was I was in 9th grade and I weighed 84 pounds and I was 4'7", and for some reason the football team wasn't into that, or the basketball team. No, actually, I didn't like what. Yeah, I was the ball. That's very good. So, but I also, I hated all that from day one. And the day I knew there was sports that you could be on a team and be an individual at the same time, I gravitated to those. So in junior high, I was in wrestling, and we were a pretty nice bunch. We did not have a ton of that, no trick like on the awful basketball and football team. And then in high school, I played tennis. And that was, we were all girls. We were the girls' tennis team, basically. And so we didn't do anything like that. And I've always walked away as fast as I could from anybody who had that dynamic, which is why I went into theater. Because once you became a thespian, you were the biggest, I was suddenly the biggest homo in the school. And I was fine with that because I had an entire group of people that knew how it felt. And which was odd was I was the least bullied of all the people around. So I could, kind of commiserate with them, but knowing I could try to help at the same time. So, and I don't want that in my relationship with my wife, for God's sakes. Right?
Bullying you and punching you all the time.
Okay. We have 10 minutes and 3 questions. Okay. So this is an interesting question. Do you remember what it was? It was you can't see it. Does saying I love you every day lose its meaning over time? I'm going to say no and yes at the same time. Go, Donna.
I'm going to say it depends on how genuine it is. Like if you just routinely say it like hi, bye, then yeah, it doesn't mean much. But I think there's more in how you say it rather than how often you say it. I do think you should say it every day, like at least one time in a day. You should be like, a genuine I love you to your family. But if you're just saying it meaninglessly all the time, then yeah, it's not the words, it's the tone. It's like what you put behind it. That's what I say.
I agree. I think there's 2 kinds of I love yous. The I love you that's part of a greeting goodbye that just gets thrown off. But I mean, you say it, it's a nice reminder. I don't think it's bad, as long as during the day there's a very sincere take a break, take a moment, make eye contact, and really mean it. I think that's special. There's a place for both, but you can't do without the sincere one pretty regularly, I think.
Yeah, I think it should be at least once a day. You should sincerely show love or say I love you in some way at least once a day.
I think you should only say I love you if you're trying to get sex.
I try and say I love you at least as often as my wife says, "What am I doing with you?"
Okay. So here's what I think. I think Joe is right. I think you can throw it off here and there and mean it, but it doesn't have to be so heartfelt. Oh God, I love you. It can be, if it is every day, oh, I love you. Okay. See you later. I love you. That still can mean something. It doesn't not necessarily not mean anything. But you're right. If you, I love you. But hopefully you're not doing that. And should you say it every day? Yeah, maybe. But if you skip a day, like my wife and I on the phone, we don't say I love you every time we hang up the phone if we're moving. But then, a nice surprise every 3rd or 4th call. Oh, I love you, or something like that. Or on a text. Oh, by the way, I love you. Here's 5 hearts and an emoji with an apple that has a worm in it, so which is the love. So, but it can become robotic in a way and also still be meaningful.
I'd agree with that. Have you ever said it by accident to somebody?
I love you, Joe, and no.
Okay.
So never, not one.
I have, like, when you say goodbye and you just go love you, and you're like, ooh, wait, I don't love you. Never mind. Just
Yeah. The woman that helped me get unemployment recently, I told her I loved her because I was saying goodbye to Lindsay at the same time. I can't walk and chew gum.
Aw,
So we're closer now.
that's nice.
Yeah.
You moving in?
I think I have done that. So, all right. Okay, good. 10 minutes. We got 3 more. Oh God, it's always one of these. Why does sex with the wife always seem repetitive? How can I incorporate new positions in an old marriage?
Is he not asking, like, talking about it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It should be okay.
Two people are sitting in your office, Donna, and he asks this, then what?
I would say, have you talked about it or asked her to try new positions? And if it's yes and she won't, might need some individual work there with sexuality and her comfort level and inhibitions and things like that. If it's no, I haven't asked, and I'm like, seriously, that's a couple issue. Like, let's start talking. You need to start talking about this. In a lot of cultures and backgrounds, talking about sex is not encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I can see that question coming up, but then logic kicks in and you're like, well, just ask her.
Lights off, in the dark, find each other. Go to your separate corners.
Like there's the subtle dude hinting, just kind of going for it without talking about it, hoping you're not going to say anything and he's just going to be able to do that. Like,
you're giving away my moves. You realize that?
Oh. That was Joe's main move right there.
Don't say anything, just try it.
What he hears every other night. What is that?
Yeah. What do you think we're doing?
Where's that coming from?
I'm trying to watch The Bachelorette.
So, see, you said something important, and that is in many cultures, you're right, talking about it, being open about it and stuff like that. It's all this taboo-ness that you have to get rid of. Now, my thought on this was that he, if this guy is repetitive, is that he's trying to get to the sex. He's not thinking a lot of foreplay. He's not thinking a lot of, and once you really start getting into the preparation and getting all the foreplay and the excitement of that, you're going to find a lot of new, different ways to start because a lot of the foreplay can be different. You know what I mean? And then what I don't understand about this is it's women, I find, not women, because I've only got the one, but you find that they're different a lot. So you've got to do different things just to really make it great for them. Because
so
I find...
let me get a technical moment in there. So there is actually a part of your brain called the novelty area of your brain that likes new things, and new things stimulate dopamine and chemicals that make you feel good. So doing new creative things, it doesn't have to be drastic new, just like little new.
Bring in the swing.
Things does stimulate a good feeling. So I get the monotony and why that's not enjoyable, but that creative and new, you want to keep that in there. You want that to be part of you. And as you're thinking about it, as you're talking about it, I'm like, there's people that eat for fuel, and there's people that eat for fun, and there's people that eat for fuel and fun. So like, intimacy is not just to get the act over with. It's also an experience, and it should be fun.
It is if you're Mormon.
I suppose.
No, I'm just kidding. So is that crazy?
In there.
Well, here's one thing. The last thing for me on this, and then Joe's going to show us slides. Okay. Is that you know what, the same thing, and this tells me he's not really thinking about her. He's thinking about himself, because guess what? The same thing doesn't always work the same way. You've got to experiment. You've got to find things. You've got to bring this in. You got, oh, honey, maybe this time. So he's scared to ask. She's scared to tell.
Change it up. Change it up. Change up where? Change up when? Change up how? Change it up. Be creative.
But not with who?
What? Well, No.
Yeah.
No.
Not so much. Not so much change of poop.
Yeah, not so much.
Unless
Okay.
you role play. Go ahead.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We have to play an ad because it's almost Halloween. Here we go.
Ooh, Igor, this is not my match. The vampire's ball is a swanky affair.
Master, I brought the shovels.
Good, Igor, good. And did you bring my latte?
Yes, Master. Skim milk, true splendor.
Good, Igor, good. Let's get started. Oh, yes, Igor, yes. Raise the platform. It's time.
Well,
Hiding from ghosts. We're hiding from ghosts. Oh man, I think we're toast. We're hiding from ghosts.
Come inside.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I have created with Steve Goody the greatest Halloween album of all time. Go to ultimatehalloweenparty.com. Get those songs. Okay, so next question. This is a fun one. I don't know if you can see it. I am 80. Am I too old to make babies?
Not biologically, but perhaps everything that comes after might be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, the energy you're going to need to raise the babies. But I think biologically, there are people who ovulate and can carry a baby that old. They can. It's possible. I'd say the norm in females is you've gone through menopause by then, so you're not even ovulating, but you could still have eggs in your ovaries that can be used and fertilized. Then you have to carry it, which does require your system to go through quite a bit. But if you take it really easy, I'm saying it's possible, but who would want to?
You really think 80-year-old women could have? There are that have eggs that
Could.
I couldn't see the question. I assumed it was a man asking that, saying that.
Oh, right.
Oh, well, I was going to ask. Well, my next question was going to be, do you think this was a man or a woman? And then I was going to joke about it being a woman and being impossible. And then Donna acts like 80-year-old women are popping out kids left and right. Which, well, is that
up at the fertility center?
Well, when I pulled this one out, I was like, because I remember Tony Randall. Tony Randall was 76. He was married 40 years, 0 kids with his wife. She dies. He marries a 26-year-old or 27-year-old woman. They have 2 kids. He's 81. He's dead. She's got all the money and the 2 kids. I mean, I don't know. That's wild to me.
Like that. Many, many men.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is it's something for me to look forward to. So when I'm 80. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go. I got to go to dinner. Joe Bronzi, what do people need to know about you?
Absolutely nothing at the moment. No shows coming up because of COVID. Check me out on Facebook, Joe Bronzi Comedian. There will be things in the future.
Wait, I just sent you a video of stand-up. What is that show? That's gonna be?
Oh, you know what? You're right. I should plug the QC Club. We were picked up by a distribution company. So it is a comedy and sketch show that will be coming out as soon as we can get 8 episodes to them, called QC Comedy, the QC Quarantine Comedy Club.
Okay.
All right. And Donna, what is OH? What is that new website?
Well, I now have a new agency called Ohana Wellness Center, and my focus is high conflict divorce. The more drama, the better.
The more drama, the better. You love the drama.
I do love the drama.
And why Ohana?
Family. Ohana means family. It's about the family.
I didn't know. I thought it's Hawaiian for family. Mm-hmm. All right. Are you Hawaiian?
No, but Las Vegas is called the 9th island. Like, we have a lot of Hawaiians who live here.
Well, and I love Hawaii, love Hawaiian people. And that's very interesting. Ohana, WC. And obviously you think Hawaiians get divorced more than other groups.
No. But I think we may want family help. But the
You picked it.
family help, and Ohana sounds cool.
You picked it because it's beautiful.
Yes.
All right, everybody, go find Joe Bronzi. Go find me. Outschool.com, everybody, and find a program for your kids. Also, get my Halloween album, for heaven's sakes, because I need the money. As Joe said, none of us are working. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Thank you.